Talking about the Leafs, though, let's kind of move on because they made some news. Signed Timothy Liljegren, our boy. Well, he's kind of our boy because he plays with our boy, Mark Giordano. 2 years, 1.4 mil per year. I'm actually kind of a huge fan of this contract. He looked great towards the end of the year, especially when he started playing with Giordano. I imagine they're going to stay together. And so for that value, I think you're going to be making money on that value. I honestly don't have an issue with this contract at all. Dom Decision, who we take a lot of our metrics from because he's a pretty reliable source, said he was third in the league in expected goals among defensemen this year, which is honestly something I was incredibly shocked to hear because he played third line minutes the whole time.
He had him in his Calder top 5,
he
right?
Did.
Yeah.
He did. A little bit of love, hometown love. Actually, I don't want to say that because Dom wouldn't do that, but definitely goes to show that he was sneaky good last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually really like this signing.
Fantastic signing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I remember, I think Dom Liljegren responded to a tweet saying that he's like a homer. He said that he put Liljegren there, A, because of the expected goals that you talked about, and number 2, because play driving. He's like one of the best young play drivers in the entire league. Dom Liljegren's model, GSVA, really rates play driving very high. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of his voting was based off his model, like it should. Like that's a thing.
Objective, yeah.
Right? It makes a lot of sense. Timothy Liljegren is a sneaky, fantastic player. The league and NHL and Toronto fans, don't understand how good he is. And I didn't understand how good he was either because he had been in and out of the lineup for most of the year.
Even in the playoffs, he got taken out.
Which, don't even get me started on that. His projected WARs in the 93rd percentile. His expected value of offense is in the 93rd percentile. Defensively is in 70th percentile metrics. Great two-way defenseman. Just... I don't even know what else to say. Yeah. Penalty killing, he's great. He's a great finisher as well. He's making $1.4 million over 2 years. This guy can slot in to most third and fourth defensive spots in the entire league. Seeing these stats now, seeing the way that he played, especially with Giordano on his side, I don't understand how he didn't get more, and I don't understand how he wasn't playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he probably didn't get more because that was really his first year, so at least probably had a little leverage there. But I think that his next contract's going to be a different story. I think, even I didn't realize he was that good objectively stats-wise, but I think it's because he's not flashy. He's just steady. He makes a great first pass. He gets the play moving, like you said. And guys who are honestly less flashy get paid less for whatever reason, even if they're just as effective. It's just, I guess, optics. But that you talked about, he can slide into be a number 3, number 4 defenseman. That brings us to a discussion is, what's the Leafs' top 6 going to look like next year? And specifically, do you think he's on our second pair next year?
Okay, so that depends. I don't know very well. You're a freak at knowing this. Does he shoot right or left?
He shoots right.
Oh, so he's playing the right side. That's big. It's
important.
Crazy. I think there are 4 defensemen that are for sure cracking the top 6 next year.
Yeah.
Brody, Riley are obviously cracking the top 4 as well. And then with this signing, this tells me it's going to be Sandin and Liljegren that are going to be the other 2. I don't think you can say Muzzin is going to be in the top 4 for sure because he might not be a Leaf next year.
Yes, that's a very important kind of contingency.
If he is a Leaf, he will be in the top 4.
Yeah,
right. But
even Sandin still has to be signed. He's an RFA still.
He'll get signed.
I think they're going to sign him. He's going to probably command more money than I actually like that they got Liljegren done first because it sort of sets the market.
Mm-hmm.
Liljegren's objectively a better player, and I like Sandin a lot. Maybe he can't ask for much more than Liljegren, which is good for the Leafs. But, yeah, there's so much with this Leafs decor. I don't even know if Justin Hall's going to be a Leaf next year. I have a feeling he won't be. He makes too much money to be a third-pair defenseman.
Very true. And also, I can't believe I forgot this. One of my favorite players in the league. There's Mark Giordano is also going to be a top 4 defenseman. So it's for
top
sure.
Top 4? Do you think he's going to be top 4 next year?
I meant top 6, but top 4. He's probably going to play with Liljegren, will he not? They've been so good together.
That's the thing. I would love to have them as a third pair because that means you found someone better to play on your second pair.
He'll play second line minutes on the third line. That's probably what will happen.
Yeah, because I wonder if he gets power play 2 time. I know Gio kind of did that last year. But maybe if Liljegren continues to play at this rate offensively, I could see him taking over PP2.
Sorry, I meant to say Giordano was playing second line minutes on the third line.
Because he played in. Yeah, Keith loved him
exactly
last year.
He does everything right. I mean, yeah, there's one spot left, and that's between Muzzin and Hall, and I don't know if either of them deserve that sixth spot. And once again, Jake Muzzin has had an illustrious career. He's won, what, 2 cups? Two cups. He's won an Olympic gold. He's a phenomenal hockey player. Very unfortunate to see, but these injuries really deteriorated his play over the past few years. And with the Leafs in ultimate win mode with yet another first-round exit, unfortunately, you have to put those heartfelt things aside, and it's got to be business. If he's not good enough to play, is he going to play, especially making 5 and a half?
Something like that. I'm torn with getting rid of Muzz because I thought he had an okay playoffs when he came back. He wasn't peak Muzzin, but he was better than regular season Muzzin, and he looks steady. I don't know. He makes a lot of money. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, though, because they're going to have some holes to fill. If they trade him, they got to find someone to fill that hole. I don't know if Sandin's ready to be a top 4 defenseman, and Giordano ideally is not. Like, ideally, he's in his late 30s, early 40s now, right? They're late 30s, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I won't hate him there, but ideally he's not. If he can be your third pairing, it means you got a good top 4. Right? So I don't know.
Here's a question. I just read on Twitter, honestly, a couple minutes before we started filming, Jakub Chikrin said that he does not want to be part of another Arizona rebuild. If Arizona came to you as the Leaf GMs and said, give us the first round pick next year, a second, and then throw in Timothy Liljegren, are you taking that?
Ooh.
That's a pretty fair deal.
Yeah, probably is. Just he's a lefty too.
Yeah.
I would maybe do that with Sandin instead of Liljegren.
You like Liljegren better than Sandin?
I like Sandin a lot, but he's a lefty. So maybe just for like practicality. Is that even a word? Practically speaking?
Yeah, practicality is a word.
Yeah. So maybe from that perspective, a first, second, and Sandin's a lot though for Chikrin. But Chikrin's under control. Like there's so many.
He's under term. He's low AAV.
And he's good. That helps.
I was going to say, with the fact that this contract is so low, I wonder if a small part of it was Dubas going, this might be a valuable trade piece come deadline.
Maybe. You know what? Listen, if we're going to go on a cup run, I don't really care who gets sacrificed. I love Liljegren, but if you can get a deal that makes us better, you got to do it.
Very true. But speaking of cup runs, do you have anything else to say about Liljegren?
Not about Liljegren, no.
You want to move on to ranking our Stanley Cup champions, or you have a little bit more to say about this?
We can save Leafs talk for the free agents because I was gonna we could talk about Campbell and Mikheyev, but the only piece of news is that they haven't made offers to either of them.
Weird, and apparently they're shopping the rights of Mikheyev, right?
Yeah, I'm not shocked about that one. At least like if you can get a 5th for him, it's better than literally nothing. So you might as well.
He's an RFA, correct?
He's a UFA, but if you trade his rights, that team gets an extra week of negotiation time because before free agency starts. And in whatever world, some parallel universe where Mikheyev gets 8 years, like that team can give it to him now.
Is like trading away a 4th round pick to? I guess it's to guarantee that you sign him.
And I'm assuming there has to be some sort of like sneaky negotiation taking place behind the scenes where if you're trading for him, you're likely going to be able to keep him. I think a couple years ago, the Habs traded a 5th for Joel Edmondson's rights, and they ended up keeping him. Mm-hmm. So it tends to happen. Even Jimmy Hayes, not Jimmy, rest in peace to Jimmy, Kevin Hayes, when he got traded, the Flyers traded for his rights and then signed him to that big deal.
So I guess that makes sense because we're not keeping Mikheyev for sure next year.
I don't know. They haven't made an offer to him, but he's priced himself out of a stay here because he's been good.
Like how good? Like $4 million?
I think he got 20 goals last year.
You think he's going to get 4?
I think he might get it in around 4. He's probably worth it, just not for us.
He could slot into the top 6 of a fringe playoff team.
Yeah, and if he's on your third line, like Nick Paul's getting paid what now, three and a bit to play on their third line. I would pay Mikheyev between 3 and 4 if I had the space on my third line.
And he kills penalties.
That's right. He's fantastic at it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a word on Jack. We can talk about Jack more towards the end because I think there might be some things happening maybe around the draft, or we're going to hear more about him. But the fact that it looks like the Leafs are going to legitimately overhaul their goalie position in one offseason. They got rid of their goalie coach. I think they're going to move on from Campbell because they haven't made offers. And Mrazek, I guess for cap's sake, hopefully he's not here anymore. But that's how big. I'm a little hesitant about that, but we'll have time to talk about that.
I just don't understand who's on the open market to replace Jack Campbell. That's my problem. Like if there was a stud guaranteed play you 60 games a year. I don't know how many they play now, but like a Connor Hellebuck type goalie, then maybe. But who's there? Like, who's there better than Jack Campbell?
Kemper, arguably.
Is Kemper not going to resign with Colorado?
Depends if they can or can't keep him. I don't know if they can.
Darcy Kemper knows that team is going to be a Western Conference Finals team for the next 3 years. Why wouldn't you re-sign there? Especially because you finally found a home. Darcy Kemper has been bounced from bad team to bad team in his entire career. He's finally found a home there. I expect him to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, it's likely that he does maybe, but they have a couple of other free agents they got to take care of too. So maybe he kind of slides he slides back and they can't give him the money that he feels he's worth, and he gets open market. Marc-Andre Fleury's an option too, but he's old.
He's so overrated now. He's such an overrated goalie. And by the way, you can be very good and overrated at the same time.
I don't think he's going to get $7 million like he did in his last contract. So maybe the Leafs are thinking, okay, we can snap him up for like, I don't know, 3.5. And
isn't he 40?
He's old. Yeah, I don't think he's 30. I think he's like in his late 30s though.
I don't know. I love, and we love on this podcast, Kyle Dubas. I think Kyle Dubas has made one mistake in his entire career, which you can't even call a mistake, because at that time the trade was a good trade. The Nazem Kadri trade, looking back now, was a complete failure. But at the time, you got a good Tyson Barrie. You shipped out a guy who was like costing you playoff games. That's fine. That's the one thing looking back. If they get rid of Jack Campbell here and let him walk, that's going to be the second, and I think the first real mistake Kyle Dubas has ever made as a manager.
I would want to keep Jack because you know what you're getting out of him, but like you said, we trust Dubas, so maybe he's got something up his sleeve, some ideas.
I got a bad feeling Jack Campbell is going to be an Edmonton Oiler next year.
Oh, jeez.
That's a perfect fit.
Really?
The Edmonton Oilers need a goalie. Like a first-line goalie, a starting goalie. There's nobody on the market that wants to go there or can go there. If Jack Campbell becomes a free agent, he will probably be, next to Darcy Kemper, the most premium goaltender on the open market.
He will.
He's going to make a lot of money, especially because...
That's the thing. Maybe the Leafs just don't think he's worth the price he's going to get.
We heard Puljujarvi's not going to sign back with the Oilers. We heard that Mike Smith is most likely going to terminate the rest of his contract on LTIR. Mikko Koskinen is not coming back to the Oilers. They have some space.
They have a bit of space. And if Keith retires, it's even more space.
It's enough space to get Evander Kane and Jack Campbell. So
possibly.
We'll see.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And find the link to our full podcast and all our socials in the description down below.
Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications to get live updates on new videos that we release.